Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Charlie and Linda Bloom.
We're
here.
back.
We're here. And we're speaking with you today about the topic, these words will take you very far. Now take a moment to look and see what comes up in your mind when you guess what those words might be that would really take you very far in your relationship, because there are certain kinds of words that really sweeten a relationship up, that enliven a relationship, and that give it a boost into the joy zone. And whatever it is that your mind came up with is probably something that your relationship needs more of, those kinds of words. And it may not be what we're planning to talk about today. So I wanted you to look into your own experience first and see what you found there.
Well, I'll tell you what came up for me.
Yeah?
A new Tesla. But that's just because of me.
Yeah, that's where your mind is going. That would definitely put you in the joy zone.
Yeah.
Cars are
It'll
important
take me
to you.
very far, too.
I know, but cars,
Without
it's
any
not
gas.
a big deal for me. If I've got a car that works, that doesn't have to be in the shop and gets me around, I'm okay on it. But I'll tell you what does put me in the joy zone. And I'm really clear that it's the words of affirmation. It's the words, sincere words of appreciation and gratitude that give me enthusiasm for my life. When I feel appreciated, particularly by my main squeeze, Charlie over here, but when other people in my life take the time to thank me for something. So I'm a big believer in giving what you want to receive. And so I try to make it my business to let the people in my life know when they've touched me, when they've taught me something, when they, sparked my life, brought more sparkle to it. I try to do my best on a daily basis to do that. And I so appreciate the people in my life because that's where I get my biggest joy jolts. Now, it isn't just me. There's a fair amount of research, and part of the research that Charlie and I did when we wrote Secrets of Great Marriages, when we asked the couples their secrets of success to their wonderful exemplary marriages, we heard this mentioned a lot, that they take the time to acknowledge and validate and thank each other, even for tiny things, small things that some people may think are so insignificant. Thank you for helping me clear the table. Thank you for doing the dishes. Thank you for taking out the compost. Thank you for cleaning the cat box. Thank you for making my life easier. Thank you for listening to me when I'm stressed out and confused and need to talk through something. Thank you for your patience. Thank you. And to catch each other doing right many times during a day, really, I call them deposits in karma, savings, and loan. So if you have to bring up something that's unpleasant, difficult, if you're squabbling about something, you would never overspend your account because you would have an abundant account. And so lots of us didn't see it modeled in our family of origin. Our parents maybe didn't really acknowledge each other. Maybe they didn't acknowledge us, the kids in the family. But that's just a habituated pattern. They may not have understood how important and how essential it is for relationships to thrive, to have these testimonials of appreciation and gratitude. From the smallest, medium-sized to the really big ones. I'm so glad you're in my life. You enrich my life. You're so important and critical to my well-being. But we can change those habits when we understand how far it can take us. And all of the best relationships, the people in them that are really thriving and delighting in them, are rejoicing in feeling like they're appreciated. We need that kind of feedback from our world to know that the other people are really seeing with detail and specificity how it is that we are contributing to their life.
Right. I appreciate what you just said.
Thank you very much.
The word appreciate is a very interesting word because it has a dual meaning. On the one hand, when you appreciate something, then you're showing a grateful understanding of the value of something.
Mm-hmm.
And when something appreciates, it grows in value. So showing appreciation and being appreciative is not only a way of acknowledging your gratitude, but it's also a way of enhancing and deepening the value of something. So in terms of a relationship, when you show appreciation and that appreciation is gratefully accepted, then that which you appreciate actually grows. So it's a way of deepening the value, not just recognizing the value of something, but of strengthening and deepening the value.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very simple to do that, and we feel most of us feel feelings of appreciation quite a bit more frequently than we let on.
Yep.
Which is kind of raises an interesting question, because it's natural when you feel that to want to express it or to share it, and yet my guess is that the average person only expresses appreciation about 10% of the time that they feel it, or even less. I know that I went through a day one time when I did this little experiment to notice how frequently I would feel appreciation and then how much of that time I would actually express it. And it was a very low ratio, a very low percentage. And so I looked at, well, why don't I express it more? Why is it that I'm not freer in acknowledging my appreciation? And I had all kinds of reasons and rationalizations and justifications, like, well, it's not that big a deal. It doesn't matter that much. I feel sort of, in a funny way, almost embarrassed to express it. And I thought about, what's this resistance about? And it was very similar to feelings that I have had, and I think other people have had, about apologizing. We did a talk on apologies a couple of weeks ago. And when I apologize, I'm putting myself in a very vulnerable position, because I'm implicitly acknowledging that I have in some way caused pain or a disappointment or failed to fulfill some expectation, and that there's something I'm acknowledging or accepting a certain amount of responsibility or even guilt by apologizing. And many people are very reluctant to apologize, and some even take pride in the fact that they don't apologize. I don't know that it's anything to be proud of, because basically when we don't apologize, and I don't think there's a person on the planet who has never done something that they have remorse or regret about, or that has affected somebody adversely. So it's nothing to be proud of. It's usually a fear of expressing something that could cause other people to judge me in a negative way. And the same thing is true, I think, for appreciation. Not that I'm going to be judged negatively, but think about it for a second. When you show appreciation or you thank somebody, gratitude, you're implicitly saying that I value and benefit from what you're giving me, that I am in some way in wanting or needing or am being positively affected by what you gave me, which in some ways can show a lacking in myself. It can in some way make me vulnerable by expressing what it is that may be missing for me, that I would like more of. So it generally, the failure to acknowledge and show appreciation as much as we feel it is got something to do with being vulnerable.
And I'm grateful to you for your willingness to open up your heart and open up your feelings and to be vulnerable with me and to admit that you have some dependency with me, not overly dependent, just healthy dependency. Because during those years ago, a long time ago, more than 25 years ago, when you didn't open up your heart to me and you didn't appreciate me.
Well, I did, but I didn't really let on.
And you didn't say it because you didn't want to get vulnerable and you didn't want to admit that you were dependent.
Yeah.
That was so painful to me. I was suffering then because I was doubting how much you loved me. I thought you loved me a little bit. I didn't think you loved me abundantly. And I'm really grateful for the work that you've done to feel your own strength and to feel your own independence and to be able to own your vulnerability and your dependence on me, because you're a lot freer with your thank yous and your specifics about the ways you love and appreciate me.
Yes,
and it lifts me up.
I am freer in my expression of gratitude and appreciation, but I'm also freer as a person.
Yes.
Because I'm not inhibited by my resistance to acknowledging what it is that I'm appreciative of. And you know, when I show appreciation, I think when anybody shows appreciation, it's not just the other person.
No, we both get to win.
That's benefiting from it. It's like I am enhancing the quality of my own life. I'm freeing myself up more. I'm feeling that good feeling that I know you're getting when I do that.
I want to tell the listening audience that I think of expressing appreciation and gratitude is like being a magic fairy and sprinkling magic fairy dust on the other person. But it gets on us while we're sprinkling, so that they get to feel a little lift and we get to feel the magic lift at the same time, because it feels good to give and it feels good to affirm the particular ways in which we're appreciating them in that moment. And I brought one of my favorite lines from a favorite poem by Raymond Carver. It's called Late Fragment. And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so, I did. And what did you want? To call myself beloved, to feel myself beloved on the earth. I feel like this is what I took birth for. I wanted to feel myself beloved, and I wanted to feel confident that the people that I loved got it from me and that they felt themselves beloved. So it's clearly a win-win, and it's clearly a way to get into the higher realms of well-being, to live in the joy and fulfillment zone. And, you know, the positive psychology people are all aligned about this, that making more money is not going to bring you the kind of happiness and well-being that people are craving and longing for.
Might bring you some other kind of well-being.
It might bring you, you know, some material well-being, but it's not going to put you into that high level of joy the way your harmonious relationships, where you rest into feeling that he's into me. He really digs me. He learns from me. He takes influence from me. And we've got, the winning combination here because we've got a mutual admiration society. We both have gifts, assets, signature strengths to bring to this relationship, and the other person gets us. They see our flaws. They see our shadow side. They know our imperfections and our, neurotic hangups. Okay, so we're all a mixed bag. And they love us and appreciate us because they see that the goodness about us, the good news, so far overwhelms those things that are the weak suits. And that's a good contract to make with our partner, to focus our attention on the beauty that they are, on the gifts that they bring. And it doesn't mean that we're in denial about the parts about which aren't so fabulous, but we have a lot of responsibility about where we focus our attention, what we emphasize, what we put the accent on. And we can make ourselves feel a lot better by putting the accent on the positive rather than looking at them through fault-finding eyes, which, was a lot of our families. We looked at each other through fault-finding eyes. We were busy finding the imperfections and speaking about the imperfections with judgment and trying to change them. And I think that it's really important to emphasize the beauty and the talent and the wonderfulness of our partner because it brings that out in them. And when they acknowledge our assets, it brings them out in us and enlarges them.
So I want to expand the focus of this from your partner or primary relationship to be more expansive as far as the objects of your appreciation. And it's not limited to one relationship. But if you try the experiment that I did and go through a day with the intention of noticing when you feel appreciation, and then noticing, being mindful of what it feels like when you choose to express that appreciation to somebody. It could be in person, somebody that you run into and just happen to feel something about them that you really like, that you enjoy, that you appreciate. Maybe it's their sense of humor. Maybe it's the fact that they called you out of nowhere the other day just to say hello. Whatever it is. So notice how you feel inside when you express that. Notice how you feel when they receive it, if they receive it. If they don't receive it, then you might want to just give them, you might want to say it again. I just want to make sure you really heard what I said, or whatever words you want to say. And then if you choose not to show that appreciation, notice what might be behind that decision. Notice why you didn't at that moment choose to express it. This can really help you to do something really powerful, which is to become more conscious of when you're feeling appreciation. Because a lot of the times the feelings are so fleeting that they come up, we don't affirm it by expressing it, and then it's gone. It just, we don't even know because it happened so fast that we felt it. But if you slow the film down a little bit with an intention to be aware of when I feel this, what I do or don't do with it, how I feel when I take that action, if I do, when I speak that appreciation in some way, why I don't when I don't, just to become more present, more mindful with it. That helps us to become more conscious of when we're feeling it.
And if you're on the receiving end, to take a moment to really be touched by what they're offering to you. Be a gracious receiver. Make eye contact with them or touch them or smile. to reinforce it, because it's a very positive cycle. Just like being judgmental, being sullen, pouting, being critical, that has a reciprocal impact. People tend to be more judgmental with us when we're judgmental with them. They tend to be more withdrawn with us when we're withdrawn with them. That has a reciprocal energetic to it. When you gift each other with little appreciations or big appreciations, that has a contagious effect also. It tends to give a lift. It doesn't guarantee that they will reciprocate, but it encourages that they will. And don't be shy if they're acknowledging you about this, that, or the other thing, but they're missing something that is really important to you. Maybe they're acknowledging you for being a terrific mom. Maybe they're acknowledging you for having a beautiful garden. Maybe they're acknowledging you, for keeping a nice house, a good cook, all those things. And you really want them to acknowledge you for, oh, that's a beautiful outfit you're wearing. Or, I really am noticing that your workouts in the gym are toning you, and I'm appreciating your sexy body these days. So they may take it for granted that that they dig your sexy body, but if you're not hearing the appreciations that you want, give them a hint, go public with your prayer. Tell them, it would mean a lot to me if you mentioned this or that or the other thing. Because sometimes I think we suffer in silence and we feel like, oh, I wish he would notice, or I wish she would notice what a terrific provider I am for the family. And she never says anything about it. She takes it for granted. And I'm working really hard at this demanding job. And so if you can cue each other, you can get satiated in that place that may be hungry. So I don't think it cheapens the acknowledgement if we have to ask. Of course, it's wonderful and it's abundant if they think of it first and anticipate what would be meaningful to us. But even somebody who loves and adores us and who appreciates us to the max can't read our minds. And so sometimes we have to ask. Charlie sees inner beauty, so he wouldn't sometimes in the past as much say, when I bought a new outfit. And so I would stand there and I would say, hey, what do you think? And give him a little cueing. And then he'd say, you look nice. So I went for a long time without getting the acknowledgement I wanted until I took more responsibility to give him the cue.
Another thing about this acknowledgement and appreciation is that there are people out there, and you may be one of them, who have some difficulty accepting it.
Yeah.
And, they say things like, oh, it's nothing, or they deflect it in some way. But they don't really take it in because, it can feel a little uncomfortable. It can feel, like I said earlier, almost a little embarrassing. Mm-hmm. And if you give them a compliment or acknowledge them in some way, and they don't seem to receive it, then just don't let it go, but give them another chance to take it in. I at times would say something like, I just want to make sure that you heard what I said. Mm-hmm. You made kind of a joke out of it. Yeah, that's fine, but I really meant it. And I really just want to make sure that you heard it.
And another way, in addition to repeating yourself, you might want to get up a little closer to them and look them right in the eye. Or you might want to take their hand or touch them in some way, that you emphasize it and you make sure that they get it it's like making it bold and big print. And
if you're one of the people
very intentional, you want them to get it.
If you're one of the people who resist, at times can resist taking it in, or you deflect it in some way, again, if you're aware that you just did that and you didn't fully take it in, just let them know, hey, I wasn't totally with you when you said that. I was, a part of me was a little distracted. Can you tell me again? I really want to.
I want to get it this time.
I really want to hear that. That I think I missed something really good there. So can you run that by me one more time, please?
In the beginning of a relationship, when a couple is falling in love, they do this very frequently and very naturally. They're in discovery about each other. They're really paying attention. They're getting to know each other, and they're dazzled, and they're remarking about what they're discovering. And then couples often get complacent. They think they shouldn't have to say it again. He already knows, she already knows. But we do enjoy it when we continue to hear it. And there's a lot of research now about the very long-term couples who are keeping romance alive. They put them in the MRI machines, and they see that the part of the brain that lights up the romantic part, that some couples have been together 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and it's still lighting up because they're keeping romance alive. They didn't take each other for granted. They're on the edge. Do you know they're on the edge of their comfort zone? They're discovering, they're doing innovative things. They're taking good care of their relationship, and they're not on automatic pilot. So we offer that to you. Please don't take our word for it. Find out from your own experience, because you have a lot to gain, and I don't think anything to lose. Mm-hmm. Just the simple words of thank you, I appreciate you, can take you so far.
And if you really want to stretch, then do this while you're looking in the mirror.
For yourself.
Okay? Now, that is easier said than done for some of us. But see if you can do that and really mean it.
That's nice.
So
I have one more. Do it with witnesses, with people who are around. Declare your love and appreciation and gratitude for some of the people that you adore in your life, where others are there to hear it, because it amplifies it and makes it even stronger. Yeah, this is a little risky. Okay, so it's risky. So let's tell you about the topic next week. Disclosure trumps withholding almost every time. So tune in next week. We'll be happy to see you. And thank you, all of you, for telling your friends about our Facebook Live with the Blooms. And we hope that everybody is enhancing their relationship as a result of experimenting with some of the ideas that we're tossing out here, or that you're patting yourself on the back for the things that you're already doing well. Go enjoy your relationships.
Bye.
Bye.